The Nintendo Switch came out 3 years ago in 2017, and I remember getting it and thinking, wow, this is really cool. But then there hasn't been a new Switch until last year when the Switch Lite came out. The Switch Lite in 2019 was more affordable, but it didn't switch. This thing just was a handheld game system. So now we're in 2020. Where does the Switch go from here? Battery life was already tackled last year with a new model of the Switch that increased battery life significantly. But I think there are some other things. One is the screen. Now the screen is fine on the Switch, but it's got a lot of bezel around it. And I have to admit, when I play the Switch Lite, I kind of squint a lot. So I would like a bigger screen. Now you can make a Switch XL, or you could just take a larger screen and fit it into the existing Switch's body because there's so much extra space around that screen. Go up to 7 inches or so, and go to 1080p. Now, 720p is the resolution on the Switches right now. 1080p is what the Switch does when it's docked. Higher resolution is great. It's not necessary because I think the games still look really good on handhelds, but why not kick that in too? Now that gets to processing. You don't necessarily need a brand new processor on a Switch, but on something like the new 3DS XL, a new processor helped the game feel a little bit zippier when loading, and who knows what else. But on the Switch, I would say it would really help with running games in 1080p on the Switch itself, and the heat vent. You know, there are heat vents on all these Switches, and I'm not wild about them. If there's some way that a more efficient processor could do that with less heat venting, that would be fantastic too. Now, JoyCons. Let's get into the Joy-Con territory here. Joy-Cons break down. Joy-Cons get creaky. The ones I have, eventually the buttons feel a little weird. People get Joy-Con drift problems. The Joy-Con design is really cool, and because there are things like Nintendo Labo and other accessories like Ring Fit that they slot into, I don't think you want to change the way they function, but they could be made sturdier. They could be made better, and maybe tweak them a bit too. Analog triggers. Right now the triggers on these Switches are not analog, they just click. Introducing analog would be really cool. Now you can introduce new games that take advantage of that, or I think they would just feel better. The other thing I would like to see would be a D-pad. I guess that's a bit debatable. On the Switch, the original, the buttons on both sides are like a quad array of buttons. On the Switch Lite, there's also a D-pad over here. I feel like it would be really cool to include a D-pad, or at least have Joy-Cons that have a D-pad. So what else would I get to? A better dock. You know, the dock on the Switch is big, it's clunky, it's not ideal. Some people even have problems with it scratching up the Switch a bit. There are plenty of smaller docks that third-party manufacturers make already, but if Nintendo just included one in the box that worked pretty easily and was more portable, that would be a plus. Also, it might help be a kind of a stand for the Switch, which gets to another issue, kickstand. The Switch's kickstand is flimsy. It's always been weird, and if you want to stand it up on a table and play multiplayer with a friend, well, that proposition's not so great with the kickstand as it currently stands. So I would maybe either get rid of the kickstand and have a better dock that's mobile and you could stand it on the dock, or just have maybe something a little better. Hey, this is a wish list. Here's a little one that's way overdue, Bluetooth audio. I have to wire headphones to connect to the Switch if I want to listen to things by myself, and I don't use wired headphones ever except when connecting to a Switch. This is not something that I do, especially 3.5, because a lot of my devices don't even have 3.5 connections. So sure, it's great that there's a headphone jack. I'm not saying get rid of the headphone jack. I'm just saying include Bluetooth audio, please, for all the people that have Bluetooth headphones. There's not a lot else I would really include on a Switch Pro or Switch XL. I think it's a lot about better controls, bigger screen, zippier, maybe a little more battery efficient, not having quite as much heat venting, docking a little bit nicer, and, you know, include a whole bunch of fun colors because people like colors. I think the sturdiness of the Switch Lite and the way that it feels is a good model for where the next Switch in a larger size could go, because I feel like this thing just feels like it can take a bit more of a licking than the original Switch, which is a little creakier, and I even had a cracked back that I had to repair. A lot of people have things like that. So When will you see a new Switch? Well, don't expect one anytime soon, because unfortunately, Nintendo already said earlier this year that there wouldn't be any new Switch hardware in 2020. Although the company keeps suggesting that the Switch might continue to evolve in different ways. For now, be happy with the Switch you've got, but even if you are expecting a new Switch, know it's probably going to be an evolution versus a completely new version. Right now, 3 years in, the Switch is pretty fantastic, and I don't expect Nintendo's going to be changing the equation too much. I'm Scott, here in lockdown still, playing video games at home with the kids. Hope you're hanging in there too.